As I have told you, this is not going to the class based on the concept, okay? So, we'll be discussing about the political campaign, right? So, but will not be discussing concept-based political campaign. Class cancer, what it is. Okay. So, and how to go about political campaign, the current scenario, you need to know to understand the uh, essence of political parties, their visions, what they're doing. It is important also to understand in what direction democracy is going, to come up with a good opinion piece, because that's what you can do at the end of the day. You can also be a good political analyst, you can be a strategist, you can end up writing a good political piece, a political writer. Okay. And hence, it is important to understand the political scenario. Okay. Uh, if we talk about the latest developments here in Assam election, we actually see that there has been a huge change in eclipsing the regional party base, right? So when you talk about the regional party base, the party composition you need to understand, and the political and economic factors that influence the Indian politics is also very very important. When you go about making a political campaign, we first need to do a lot of research. Research regarding the nature of candidature, research regarding the type of political parties, about the constituencies, the nature of constituencies, their attribute, their characteristics, characteristics of voter base, which is also very important to understand when you talk of developing a political campaign and developing a strategy, as well as what is important is the uh, understanding of the structure of political party. Okay, so that their past politics, past policies, how they perform in the past elections are also very important and vital in order to develop a political campaign. Now, when we talk of targeting, we talk of micro targeting here. So the phase which has developed recent years. So earlier we did not have any concept called micro targeting. We simply call voter targeting. We target the voters directly based on geographical parameters and demographic parameters. And there are certain parameters which we have classified as geographical parameters and demographic parameters based on which we target voters. Okay, so geographic parameters is the whole overall constituency. Like Assam happen to be a geographical parameters, and within Assam we also have, like, Upper Assam, Lower Assam, then we have Barak Valley, Brahmaputra Valley, the Central Assam. That way we can divide Assam into different geographical constituencies. Okay, so if we have these four geographical constituencies, you could actually see the demographic base in those geographic constituencies. Like, so we have, you see, in Upper Assam, literate people are mostly dominated, and they are more focusing on regional issues and identity issues compared to Lower Assam, you see. So, literacy rate in Upper Assam is higher than Lower Assam. And also, you see that there are industries, tea industries, then you talk about this oil industries, natural gas industries are also located in Assam, Upper Assam. Okay, and they are focusing on regional identity, they are focusing more on the Assamese identity. Okay, and the population base is mostly literate. If you see the demographic base in that geographical pressing. So when you go for targeting, we are not talking here about micro targeting, even we are talking about broad targeting, geographic targeting. Within that geographic targeting, we have a population base which are more concerned about land issues, encroachment issues, about identity politics, about economic conditions, about employment. These are some of the issues which have been bothering them. Then you see, you come to Lower Assam. In Lower Assam, you find places dominated by Muslim migrant communities and few Muslim communities which are indigenous Muslim migrant communities. We call them Goria, and also there are Mia communities. They are also dominated in few places. Okay, And there are issues related to land encroachment. So you see how population base is affected by the issues, um, which has been influencing their day-to-day life. Okay, so we have to see that there is a population base in Lower Assam which is much more, it's not that literate, but they are bothered about their land, bothered about their like food, because they are dependent on agriculture basically. So economy is agriculture based in Lower Assam. So you do have to have an understanding about the demographic divide of the geographic basin. So when you target the community, you need to understand the geographic classification, and based on geographic classification, we also have demographic divides. And in Central Assam, the place consists of that's you see Nagaon, Hujai, Morikaon, and Sibsagar. Right, these are those, if you see four districts, you go classify four districts. They are concentrating basically on you see trade, commerce, and partially agriculture. If you see the economic conditions and also the focus of the economy, trade, commerce, and agriculture. And compared to Upper Assam you get to find the half of the industry, and Lower Assam you get to find the agriculture base, and in Middle Assam you find what the trade commerce, basically trade commerce, business people, business class, and people of mixed ethnicity, also dominated that Middle Assam, and some partially identity issues also come in. So then we have Barak Valley, and linguistic identity issues have dominated that Barak Valley, and partially competitive economy we get to see for political parties, and mostly dominated by Bengali Hindu majority people. So you see the population demographic divisions and how they are precipitated across this Assam. So it is important in order to develop a campaign. So when you go for demographic division, then we have already understood the ethnicity of the population, the whole Assam. We also have a population composition which is classified as, you see, Assamese, then Bengalis, then and then Muslim community. Okay, we have Nepali communities, but Boru, Karbi, and Tree tribe, they have been targeted basically. So if you talk about the population composition which are supposed to be targeted by political parties. So their base is Boru, their base is Karbi, their base is Tree tribe. They are supposed to target their base is electorate base, another base is Muslim, as well as Assamese and Bengali. Okay, like that way they have concentrated. And Nepali and minuscule community, that is also minority, now they are also targeting it. So you see the mix of ethnicity which are precipitated across the Assam, which are being targeted by political parties. If we look into the performance of two political parties, we have Congress and BJP. Basically, BJP has a very strong central presence, right, compared to Congress. So Congress, they do have a historical past. We have a past. They have a historical record of ruling the country, governing the country, and that recognition which they have gained, but they could not translate that recognition into seats. So that is a challenge or weakness that Congress is having now. But in opposition to the perception of Congress, we have a BJP, which is BJP party. So recently we get to find that they do have a very it is not a recent phenomenon, because which we have seen over the last 10 years. They have been managing a continuous campaigning, and that is over the years. They run over the years. This is a kind of everyday campaign they usually carry out. And in their everyday campaign, what you get to find is the mentioning of their welfare schemes. Okay, mostly they mention about the welfare schemes, they're talking about the nations, and they're talking about some terms which drive the election agenda. So, creating a vote banks happen to be an everyday phenomenon or everyday agenda of the ruling party BJP. Okay, so they do have a very strong national base. That is one strength. They do have a very strong national base, unlike the past history of Congress, that recognized history of the Congress. They do not have any kind of recognized history as such. If you look at the history, so you will actually see there are some, like, futile records, and there are records of violence, there are records of abuses. But you see, they have a very strong national base, and this base is based on that national base is based on the perception of uh, the leader. So they have developed a national perception of Narendra Modi. Modi's perception has actually swayed their entire politics. If you also look into their electoral agendas, or we say propagandas, they this time they have driven the electoral agenda by Modi mantra. If you go and visit their site, you will find that they have mentioned about Modi mantra. Okay, and this Modi mantra consists of governance, then security, development, uh, basically these three planks. Okay, so they are focusing on development. Now, what they are talking of in terms of development. So, in mere understanding, development is all about growth, infrastructures, employment, road, highways, airport, right? And that's what they are showing to us. And that is being mentioned in the website also. Okay, let me tell you. The same thing is being mentioned in the website. If you go to BJP website in Modi Mantra, you will be mesmerized by the word which they have mentioned in the website. They have mentioned about development. They have said that the development they are looking for is a wholesome, all-round development where there will be infrastructural growth, there will be GDP growth, there will be more employment, there will be empowerment, women empowerment, there will be youth engagement, and more jobs available for youth and all. But you see that this is only a gimmick. If you go and understand the reality is entirely different. They said about security, they are talking about dynamic security. They have come up with that word called dynamic security. So when you say dynamic security, it is not only about the hard power. You are talking about the soft power asset. You are talking about empowerment. You are talking about day-to-day life of the poor also. Okay, who need to feel secured from the administration, from the government. Okay, so that's what they are talking of, and that's what they have answering. But what is the reality? Reality is different. I'm telling you. Okay, see the kind of national perception what they have created. That is the strength, right? They are coming to the reality. Okay, then they are talking about governance. They said that there should be minimum government and maximum governance. When you talk about maximum governance, there has to be an administration which will look into the needs and that desire of the poor people, even poorest of the poor. Look into the problem of the poorest of the poor, and also give equal chance of the poorest of the poor to participate in political decision making. They are talking about transparency. They are talking about less and less corruption. They are talking about responsiveness. Okay, but reality is something different. Now, these are the Modi mantras, which are the main plank with which they have come to contest the elections, and they have been contesting. Okay, so one is a very well coordinated campaign strategy which BJP has, which you won't get to find with Congress. Okay, Congress party doesn't have a well coordinated strategy, because of which they cannot mobilize the voters. And the kind of nation and nationality perception created by BJP is not being able to promoted by the opposition. Okay, now you see, in their eyes, if we are always glued to our day-to-day life, okay, because everybody has problem, and we cannot devote much time in politics, whatever is going on, why Bhupen Bora has come to BJP, left Congress, because in day-to-day life, okay, something has happened, let it happen, okay, because we have seen there are development of infrastructure, there are parks, there are gardens, there are bridges, so in front of us, so we can promote our tourism, and there are museums, okay, there are Sahid Bedis and all, okay, are being made, there are flyovers. So you actually see such a gimmick which have been shown to us, and we are being mesmerized by that gimmick. But what is the reality? That is again the question, okay. Hence, you see the well coordinated strategy. This is also another strength of the BJP party. If you talk about the strategy, you need to look into the vertical party structure. Okay, they do have a system that is called Panna Pramukh system. In Panna Pramukh system, uh, they mention about how to recruit the volunteers and try to reach maximum 30 to 60 households per day, which are there in one panna. Okay, that is a panna pramukh system. They do have a very vertical, well coordinated structures at the superstructure. You see this national base, then you have state units, then you have district level units, then you have block level units. In block level, you have mandals, then you have Sakti, that is called the Sakti units. Sakti units are combination of two, three booth committees, and at the ground level, at the grassroots level, they do have booth committees. Okay, so you actually see the vertical and hierarchical system they are managing in terms of booth management. Okay, so they do have more than 1 million booths. You say if 1 million booths are there, in each and every booth, they make it sure to have a booth committee, booth management committee. And what is their role? Their role is to identify the likely voters, unlikely voters, supporters, opposition, and potential voters. So they will do that. And then what happened? So at each level there is a hierarchy. So two, three booth committees will form a sakha. That is called, that sakha is Sakti, Sakti unit. They're calling it. So they could not able to give and generate job, but they have recruited women mostly, as well as men, okay, to manage booth, okay, to manage these committees. So they have agent in those committees, and in those booths they recruited their volunteers out there, and those volunteers will identify voters, and they don't hesitate to do uh, illegal or unethical activities. That is also the way they are being trained. And again, this vertical structure will say that they are moved into training the volunteers. They always believe in training. There are periodic training of volunteers, and they do have also a membership driven awareness. They also generate awareness about membership. They carried out that awareness. They call for having more and more members, and then they are being trained. So the whole booth management is actually run by their close affinity with RSS. So they have a close ties with RSS, and with the help of the RSS, they are actually managing both, that booths, as well as voter mobilization and voter base. Okay, and they do have another aspect. We also talk about social aspect. Social and community outreach are being taken care of by Morcha, Juba Morcha, Mohila Morcha are there. Then Youth Morcha. Okay, so they have, and also their minority morchas, tribal morchas are also there. Okay, they are not doing much for the minorities, but they have some morchas which are managing the voter base offline. along with those booth management committees as well as volunteers. They are all volunteers only. And then also you see they do have a very strong digital media presence. Is a party government. That's a part of well coordinated strategic structure. Very strong presence they do have in social media, and they do have IT sales. Apart from IT sales, there is WhatsApp message group across all the volunteers and booth committees, data analytics and call centers. That's how they are managing the voter base online. And so I'll give you one example. I am acquainted with one of my brother. I'll say brother because he's our neighbor. Okay, so he was doing a private job, earning lakhs. Then he left the job. He then got appointed in BJP IT cell. So for last 7 years, 6, 7 years, he has been working there. So his parents are also like uh, not happy, I'll say, because parents are very honest and they're very simple, and they're not happy of his joining into that IT cell. But still, they have accepted whatever he likes, he should do, like that kind of notion they have come up with. And recently, I got to learn that that person that their son got married, and they got to learn that their son got married through Facebook. Okay, and he doesn't come home. He said that he often doesn't come. Once a month, he comes. Sometimes he doesn't even come. Hmm. And you see the condition. So we are here talking about reverence to elders, of values, nationality, Indian nationality, reverence to elder. That's the perception they are trying to create. And what they are doing with the volunteers. He's also one volunteer. He's earning lakhs. Like he's earning more than he earned in private companies. He's a very like meritorious student. Okay. So he was an engineer, meritorious student. He left that job. He joined that IT cell. So he doesn't get time. He married to a girl. So girl was also accepted. That girl was accepted by the family, but he didn't even inform the family that he got married, and they got to learn from Facebook and that too from his sister that our brother got married now. So and they are talking about Hindu values, they are talking about reverence to parents and all. And the kind of morality that they have created, this is one reality I'm saying. Okay? National perception is different thing. Nationality perception, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam is a different thing because they have completely eclipsed that philosophy, this Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. This party has completely eclipsed that philosophy. Okay, so sometimes it is not about being biased, it is about see the reality, what is happening. Mm. Without being bothered by what will happen to you. Okay, so this is one thing. Then we also see you are talking about security now because they are talking about wholesome security, dynamic security, right? I'll tell you in Ladakh, China has already developed stockpile. They have stockpiled, they have developed arm and immunities in Ladakh, in Doklam areas, and even in LAC, across the LAC, they have stockpiled their arm immunities, tank, helipads, and bunkers. China has made two bridges in Pongkhang Lake, and they have occupied these Gorkha regions. Modi is silent. Okay, and these bridges which China has constructed in order to transfer their arm and immunities to China. Modi is silent. And Sonam Wangchuk is being arrested just because he demanded the 60-day status for Ladakh. See the kind of hypocrisy. They're saying something, doing something. This is a kind of two-faced policy. Okay, so this is one thing, and it's not only about the security. We were talking about loan, you know, because this is also one issue. So in 67 years, all the government have taken loan from World Bank is the amount to 55 lakh crore. And in last 8 to 10 years, the loan which government, BJP government has borrowed from World Bank is 80 lakhs crore in last 8 to 10 years. And in 67 years, the loan borrowed is how much? 55 lakhs crore. And now total loan which incurred on India is 135 lakh crores. Okay, and every day it will 4,000 crore every day, and each one of us is paying 1 lakh. So it's taxpayers' money only. So whatever you see, the schemes, Asonis are available, are all taxpayers' money. You're supposed to take it, and everybody is supposed to take it. Okay, so that is one reality. In terms of development. Now you see they have come up with some buzzword development, etc. Infrastructures, then uh, highways, roadways, airport, etc. But they have created some vocabulary, which vocabulary are very popular nowadays. And in UP side, you will get to learn, find those vocabulary much more prominent. Like गर्मी निकालना. गर्मी निकालना का मतलब क्या है? गर्मी निकालना का मतलब है तुम you throw out your aggression. This is a kind of vocabulary which is very popular among politicians, even the people, among people. उसने गर्मी निकाला, क्या कर दिया, निकालने दो, and it got her. हाँ, so this is a kind of that culture he has. They have that spreading. And also we have Bulldozer Baba. Yogi Adityanath called himself as Bulldozer Baba. And they're taking pride calling themselves as Bulldozer Baba instead of growth and development. Okay? And they have come to 80-20, that policy 80% Hindu, 20% Muslim. So Muslim would be driven away. And at the same time, through coercion, through pressure, they are bringing the Muslim vote. So if you don't vote us, then you will be taken away. So that is the policy. We also have Samshan and Kabristan, like that kind of word come up. Anurag Thakur, he has already said, Union Ministry has said that देशद्रोहियों को गोली मार दो. अब ये देशद्रोही कौन है? कैसे तुम निकालोगे ये देशद्रोही कौन है? ट्रांसपेरेंसी कहाँ है? कर क्या रहे हो तुम लोग? So this is the scenario. We talk about the perception. This is vote bank politics, complete vote bank politics. They said that Congress are doing appeasing, doing appeasement policies. They're not appeasing. Now they are not into that appeasement policies. They are only appeasing. They are only coercing the minorities. And you see there is a huge cut in the budget for minority communities and also for caste. In a way, they're talking of reservations, and they also cut the sanctioned amount for minorities. They're supposed to get that National Young Fellowship. There is a fellowship, National Young Achievers Fellowship, which is also you see the amount which is sanctioned has also diminished. The total amount for Dalit communities and which they derive from the social support system has been diminished. And there are 18 states occupied by BJP, and in those 18 states, you won't even find a single Dalit minister. So this is also a very grim picture what they are doing. So they believe only in Brahmanical politics, Brahmanical supremacy, the politics of Brahmanical supremacy. So you need to know about caste and class because this is very ingrained in Indian society and intrinsic to Indian culture. So we will be discussing about it in one class. So when you actually see the reality, reality is different. But yeah, they have created a perception of nation and nationalism. Okay, in which we also find pride. They also make us they give the scope to take the pride. Okay, they have a very centralized like leadership style and centralized strategy which is being executed at decentralized level. Hmm. And a vertical system, vertical that the coordinated, well coordinated. This is called the boot management system. They do have, unlike you see, we have the Congress. Okay, because some of the ethics and morality is still there with Congress. I believe so. I was not at all a Congressee. Hmm. But no, no, this is people might say that he has been promoting, like post related to Gaurav Gogoi. He's saying in favor of Gaurav Gogoi, he might be Congressy, but it's not like that. Hmm. I just believe in ethical politics, and when there is no ethical politics, so I be it whosoever, be it Congress, be it BJP, be it other party, we have to raise our voice because this is about our land, about our nation. Okay, so this is one thing, and uh, then use see that they usually go for geographic targeting and demographic targeting. Okay, in demographic targeting, you do have though ethnicity, religion. These are some of the ascriptive identity based on which you will identify the voters, and then you will also identify voters based on sub classifications among women. Suppose housewives, then you have that. Working women, that there are some mothers that girl up to 20 years or 18 to 15 to 20 years. Like that way, based on age, based on gender, you also classify mm, women group and also try to find out the spaces where they consolidate themselves more so that you can understand their issues more, and based on their issues you can develop your strategy. It is also said that the political agenda of Congress is issue driven, but that issue driven word is also taken by BJP. So the political agenda of BJP is development, basically development and infrastructures and delivery of those infrastructure. They're focusing on delivery of schemes, delivery of asonis, and delivery of infrastructure to the people. So this delivery and development, these and asonis and schemes are the three buzzwords with which they are playing the politics, and that is also resonated with those voters who are looking for stability in government. There are other parties, regional parties. We also many times see that many regional parties are eclipsing a national party. So that is being happening. Some regional parties are being coyed and also manipulated by BJP leaders to speak against even Congress, because Congress is a single largest opposition against BJP, and that has also created a kind of eclipse to the base of the Congress. So yesterday I read Dulu Ahmed post. Okay, this is what based on my experience I'm saying. So earlier also I was a bit apprehensive when there was an election for MP, and then Manoranjan Talukdar came up, Dulu Gogoi, then all of a sudden Dulu Ahmed and one from Congress just popped up, and they have fragmented the vote for Manoranjan Talukdar. I do not have any affiliation with Manoranjan Talukdar, again I'm saying, but yeah, one day before they are saying that we have a lot to learn from Manoranjan Talukdar. In the next very day, they said that he is our enemy. And this time also what happened, so this politics is so very interesting, even so it will give you some scope, a chance to laugh, uh, and yeah, laugh at the scenario. So you see that mm, this Lulu Ahmed has been vociferous for Jubin Garg. Right, he has been claiming a lot about the Nyay for Jubin Garg, justice for Jubin Garg, and we need to get those people, 11 people who surrounded Jubin during his that, death time. Okay, so he is the one who has been very vociferous, and uh, and that's how he attained that credibility from the masses, because people love Jubin. And when somebody is uh, in, yeah, when somebody is saying in favor of like Jubin Garg and justice for Jubin Garg, so definitely people will like him, like his suggestions, like his opinion, and that has happened to Assamese people also. So he has acquired that credibility. Then all of a sudden he announced that he will come in politics, he will join politics. Okay, and he contest. He contested before also, and he said that this time also I'll contest. So he took opinion from people. So people said, yeah, go ahead, and he also contested the election. Okay, now what has happened, that this Bhupen Bora incident, he raised an issue that Rokibul Hussain should be arrested, should be tortured, and even should be that's what, harassed because of his activities. And Bhupen Bora is one who is leaving the Congress because of Rokibul Hussain, you see, and Bhupen Bora has taken the right decision. Now he has already attained that credibility. Okay, so he is from Trinamool Congress, trying to eclipse the base of Congress, single largest party against the BJP. He has already acquired that credibility but he has connection with CM. CM has told them that you do this. So that is what is very obvious in front of us. Okay, but at times you said that how could you know? But yeah, that has been happening. So one after another, we get to see a different a reality which we don't expect, and which is not even good for the country. So we are not against winning of BJP and BJP coming to status quo. Okay, but the problem is that we don't want to saffronize the whole state. This is wrong. You cannot saffronize a state. You cannot make a state sign alike. We believe in unity, we believe in diversity. Okay. And a single largest opposition which can give you a stable should not be driven away. That is the thing. Okay. So we also believe in coalition politics. So there are a lot of things you need to learn. Need to learn about alliance. You need to learn about coalition. So when we talk about what factors drive the voter base in India, one is the leadership issues. So personality factor will drive the leadership, the personality, very personality. Whether you want an honest leader, want a stable leader, want a resolute leader, that will drive the perception about the leader. Then you see the alliance and anti-incumbency, pro-incumbency are also other aspects which will also influence the voter base. When you say anti-alliance, you also have pro-alliance. Okay, that is incumbency and not anti-alliance. We talk about the incumbency. Incumbency on one government. So BJP is in incumbency, and to stay in incumbency, so they are having alliance with UPPL. So the alliance of BJP is there with UPPL, NDA and UPPL. And we also have alliance of Congress, which is basically AIUDF. But how far that alliance is active, we really don't know, because Mira Bhattakur, another Congress party, has given a different picture to us. Okay, and also we have regional parties. So far, they are showing um, a kind of understanding, mutual understanding with Congress. Okay, but BJP is saying, and directly is there is like telling that we will be going for vote stealing. You do whatever you want. So this is what is happening, in Assam and even in National Front. Okay. Uh, so beyond concept, you also need to know when you develop a campaign, when you write a political piece, you need to understand the scenario, political scenario, what is happening, why it is happening, um, what are the alliances, how it is being formed, and why that person is speaking in that line, whether whatever suggestions he has given is fruitful or not, fruitful to the nation, fruitful to the country or not, is very important. Uh, so that's what I have discussed briefly. So I'll discuss more about it, about the message, because that concept when you discuss, so you need to divert from the reality. So we talk about some concept, we can talk about demographic targeting, we can talk about geographic targeting, we can talk about how to identify issue and also voter base. So based on the issues, how to identify the rank of the political parties on that particular issues. So, and the kind of issues that driven the politics. Like now, you see, there are certain issues that BJP has highlighted. There are also certain issues which have been highlighted, like land encroachment is one particular issue, encroachment of the land, identity and belongingness, one particular issue, and the theme that BJP has highlighted this time. And they create a kind of controversy that indigenous Muslim versus Mia Muslim. Okay, an indigenous community versus Mia community. But in reality, they are doing something else, but that is their political agenda. Land encroachment happen to be one political agenda. Okay, then job and employments are some of the political agendas and the issues. So you need to identify the rank and position of the political parties on those issues and agendas. First, you need to identify some of the issues. Okay, the issues which are being highlighted in the manifestos and in their political propagandas, in their political campaign, past campaign, and what new issues they are tackling this time. Okay, if new issues are on flood control, flood management, okay, because that is affected the Sar Ansal, that Namoni as well as in few places Dhamaji and all. Okay, so if control and flood management is one issue, job employment one issue, national security, even security of the land security, etc. Land enforcement is one issue. You actually see that that reserve forest which is being demolished. There are also people around 2,000 houses are being evicted, okay, and demolished, and without having a proper rehabilitation plan and settler policy. Okay, and if you see those people, the condition of those people, few of them are also appearing in matriculation examinations. They do not have a shelter to even sit and read for exams, but still they're struggling hard to sit for the exams and appear in the exam. So, and most of them have also hold voter card, voter ID card. They have ration card, voter ID card, and they have inhabited that place for long, for years. But in the name of illegal uh, settlers, they are being driven away. Okay. And they said about law, rules and regulation. They said that we are doing rule of law. This is an effort by rule of law, and by which we have demolished and evicted these people. But again, so they are also going for SIR. You know, SIR, that SIR of this electoral list. And there they have also cut down a few names and included some names from whom they got the support, and cut down those names from whom there is no surety that they will get the support. And there is also a kind of understanding that with the AID where if you want this minority to stay, you give us your support. Otherwise, they will be thrown away. Okay. So this is the kind of politics which is being played. So now the thing is that whether you will play a small or you will play a big as a media, as an observer. Okay, so if you want to play a big, so definitely. So you are ethical and you have that courage. If you don't want to play a big, I will not say timid. You are playing safe, but playing safe is also not good always because it is more about compromising your ethics, your morality, your values, your norms, everything. Okay, so it is not. I'm not saying that you should do that or do like this. This is entirely your I'll say own understanding, interpretations. But when we discuss about political news, we also give you some piece. I'll give you some piece which you need to rewrite. Some news I'll give you which you need to rewrite and give your opinion. So then you will be evaluated. So the kind of perspective you bring in, the opinion that you have formed. Okay, because as a political reporter, you need to have a very keen understanding about the political scenarios. So you cannot see yourself isolated from politics. Then what is the point of making discourse political communication? So without knowing politics, you cannot report. Without knowing politics, you cannot design a campaign. Without knowing politics, you cannot be a strategist. Okay, that's what I have been highlighting in other classes. So it's very important for you to understand the politics, to understand the reality, and also be very bold to criticize. And also praise him. It's not like that you are playing a double-edged game. Oh, okay, praise, he is doing good. Okay, praise him. If one leader is active, prompt, কর্মক্ষম leader জন্য আমি like will praise. Okay, he has done this much. Hmm. রাজনৈতিক চতুৰালি কোনোবাই কয় ৰাজনৈতিক চতুৰালি you know about that cleverness we talk about that kind of shrewdness shrewd politician. Whether shrewd politician and ethical politician and just person is equivalent or not? No. A leader is supposed to be honest. Leader is supposed to be honest, and for having that stability you cannot renounce your honesty. So that's what we call another thing. We call it that is a two-face game. Hypocrisy is we অসমীয়াত মিথ্যাচাৰী বুলি কওঁ. So you cannot rely any of the word in politics. Earlier also you said he is a politician. How can you believe in a politician? But still, so many youth are now participating in politics nowadays, in a way, participating in different way, like being a member of IP cell, being a volunteer in that vertical tire, and apart from being a part of the campaign, being a part of the strategies, being part about writing for that party or some other party or about the political scenarios, in one way or other, many youths are engaged in politics. Uh, but the what has motivated you to engage in politics is important. Hmm. Is it the kind of benefits that you have got? Thinking that you will get a benefit, you will get a job, you will get employment from the party because that is the key, like crucial need for us nowadays. We need to get a job, right? Uh, then whether these politicians or political parties, existing political party, can give you a job, that is also a question. If they are not running on ethical line. So, because there has to be a binary and we have to follow that binary. Hmm. Whatever is good is supposed to be good. You always say that this is good, irrespective of party. And if something is bad, if you have understood that, then don't hesitate to say that it's bad. Okay. I'll say your job will not be hampered. Your employment will not be hampered. Nobody has guts to say do anything against your recruitment or against your peace or prosperity. That's what we believe. Because if politics is to create a just society, so these are the agents they can create. We are the agent. We can create a just society, right? Politics is not to create chaos, and then you see that conflict in the society. People equate politics with power. It's all about power. Power to use it rightly in right direction for the greatest need of the society, for the greater interest of the society. We will be using power. So, but the ruling party has a lust for power, right? They have a lust for power, and just because of that lust, they have abused power. This is according to my opinion. Not necessarily this has to be your opinion. Okay, so that's one thing. So this is a kind of you see dissection of current political scenario that I have made. Beyond the concept, in the next class, we'll be discussing some of the concept which will be very important for you. Okay, we'll be discussing about power concept. Power is also very important as we have come across. So don't miss the next class. Okay, tomorrow, yeah, I'll be discussing about power. What is power? Okay, and also about this campaign, political campaign. What is political campaign? This concept wise, how to go, how to make a message. Okay, so some of the rules to make a message about micro targeting. Okay, um, so like that way about political marketing, about advertising, about propaganda. So differences between political propaganda and advertising. Okay, so and also about persuasion. What is persuasive effort? So there are a lot more things to learn and elaborate and also dissect. We will deal with it in the next class. Today it was having an understanding of the current scenario, which is very important.